out some friends and some clients just to get a better understanding of what might be involved. So after I did the first one, then I got a text from a friend of mine who saw it, and he was like, hey, I usually have to rely on you to help me pick out a protein powder, so why don't you help me out and make it easier for me to pick my own protein powders. So that's what this one is about. It's helping you guys make smarter decisions on protein powders, because a lot of things go into that. Okay. First off, I'll go with the main types that most people use, or most athletes will use. Whey and casein. Okay. So with whey, the thing you got to understand is whey has a fast breakdown. So there'll be times where it's going to be more beneficial over casein, and there's going to be times where casein is more beneficial over whey. But the interesting thing with whey is there's 3 different types of whey protein. You have the whey protein concentrate, which that was the original form of the protein. So that whey protein concentrate originally has more of the lactate, the milk sugars, and things like that in there, because it's derived from milk. Okay, so what they tried to do in this process is they tried to make it more pure, and they try to give you a higher amount of protein, because that concentrate only yields about 50 to 80% of it being protein. So of course, if they can get more protein out of it, they can make more money. So enter into the equation whey isolate. So when they made whey isolate, what they tried to do is they tried to eliminate all the lactose and things like that. And so that gave you more protein and more usable protein. Okay, so that brings us into the third one, because it kind of stems from isolate, and most of it are isolates, but that's the hydrolyzed whey protein. And what happened with hydrolyzed is when they got that isolate, there was a treatment that they used where they treated it with acid. Okay, and that doesn't sound as bad as you're thinking, because that treatment allowed the protein to be absorbed a little bit better. It was broken down into peptides, or some people call that pre-digested. But with that, the way that it's broken down, you absorb more of the protein, and it gives you a faster rate of absorption. So like if I was using that after a workout, I would always opt for the hydrolyzed, because you have a faster absorption rate, because the protein is broken down more into those little peptides, where the other ones are more intact. So it takes a little bit longer to travel through the gut and the stomach. So top of the line in most cases is hydrolyzed, if your budget permits, because the thing is, with the hydrolyzation process, it costs more money. Okay, isolate usually costs more than concentrate. Hydrolyzed costs more than isolate. So what you want to do is you want to try to get the most bang for your buck. So if you can afford the hydrolyzed, that's cool. That's your best bet. Okay. Maybe isolate is a little bit cheaper, or you can find a better price on isolate, but the concentrate, just know the concentrate is the cheap stuff. And I'll show you later on in this video how to be able to pick a good, the higher quality proteins, because supplement manufacturers and the guys in the nutrition stores, they're more profit driven. So they can get a higher profit margin off of concentrate, and isolate usually costs more. So what they try to do is they'll trick you, and they'll say, let's say the 2-pound container of isolate costs you $50. Okay, they'll make $25 off of it if it isn't popular. But then you might get a container of isolate, and they might make, let's see, out the concentrate, I'm sorry. You get a container of concentrate, and with that container of concentrate, they might charge $36 for it, but then make $27 profit off of that protein because the isolate is so cheap. So even though you'll pay less for the concentrate, which is most people's like, okay, I want to get by with the money. You'll pay less for the concentrate. They make more money off of the concentrate, and so that's the other thing you have to realize. And then it also costs the supplement manufacturer less money to make concentrate than it does isolate. So it's in their best benefit to try to trick you into buying concentrate because they can make more money off of it. And I'll show you ways to spot the protein, because they can say anything on the front of the label. They can say anything about the protein and all that stuff in there, and that's all fine. But there's a section at the back of the label, the ingredients panel at the back of the label, that will allow you to see what that protein powder consists mostly of. Okay, so let me touch on casein. Okay, casein typically has a slower breakdown, and there is the regular casein like calcium caseinate and things like that, and there's also micellar casein. Okay, micellar casein has a couple of more things in there that help your immunity, and it's a little more beneficial. So the thing is, supplement companies are trying to say, okay, casein is better than whey, whey is better than casein, and both of that is BS because it depends on the situation. Post-workout, whey will usually be better, okay? Between meals or at bedtime, times where you're really trying to control your blood sugar or you want a slow, steady release of those proteins and amino acids in your system, then casein may be better. Okay, and of course, the better of the two normal caseins are micellar casein. But the thing I want you to be aware of is there are two different types of casein that are going to pop up or become more popular in the future: Pepto Pro or hydrolyzed casein. And the hydrolyzed casein, again, is broken down a little bit more similar to the hydrolyzed whey, so that it more absorbs. And the funny thing about these types of caseins, the hydrolyzed and the Pepto Pro, is that they absorb fast. So you can even make a mixture of the hydrolyzed casein and hydrolyzed whey, and for a fast breakdown. Okay, and here's another little bit of information about hydrolyzation. This is also why I stuck to it or initially tried it. Okay. I read a study years ago in Mauro Di Pasquale's Protein, Amino Acids in the Athlete. And when I originally read this, they took a group of people and they gave them hydrolyzed whey proteins and hydrolyzed caseinites, and up against a group that had whey protein and milk protein concentrate. Okay, and what they did with these people, they fed them on about 800 calories a day to see which one of these proteins, which one of these types of proteins that people would fare better on. Well, the hydrolyzed proteins, in the hydrolyzed proteins, the people were better able to retain muscle mass on this really low calorie diet, very low calorie diet. I believe it's 800 calories. So that was the initial reason why I tried the hydrolyzed whey proteins, in addition to a few recommendations that I got from seminars that I went to. What I always found, and this is me personally, I can't back this up with anything else, but me personally, my arms held a bigger pump when I used hydrolyzed proteins. So I was like, okay, my arms look bigger, feel more pumped, sold, hydrolyzed. That's where it's at. Okay, but like I said, be aware that that Pepto Pro, which is a hydrolyzed caseinite, but the Pepto Pro has a process where they remove some of the bitter. The protein isn't as bitter as the hydrolyzed casein. So that's another thing I wanted to make sure you had a heads up on. The Pepto Pro is a patented process. So I already know where people are going to go with this. They're going to say, well, I'm a vegetarian. Or what about soy? Soy is no, soy is bullshit. Okay, and this is why I don't look too favorably upon soy. When you look at the things like biological value, and what biological value is, it's it measures how much of a protein that your body uses, after ingestion. And there was another one, a protein efficiency ratio, I believe. I could be wrong on that. But with those, in both of those, soy always scored considerably lower than milk and egg and whey and all the other proteins. So I would always push soy to the back burner, in addition to the things with the promoting unhealthy estrogen and shooting thyroid hormones really, really high. But y'all don't care about that, so I won't say too much about that. So if you're a vegetarian, or you just really didn't like the milk proteins, and you were definitely afraid of the lactose in the proteins, you have two options, okay? There's rice protein, which I tried rice protein and I actually fared pretty well with the rice protein, okay? And the other is, you can always go to using a combination of branched chain amino acids and essential amino acids. And that combination, the research actually shows that it will absorb faster than the whey proteins, and you will fare just as well, if not better, as far as these helping your recovery. So you can use ECAs, a combination of ECAs and BCAs, and you can get the powder, but I'll warn you that that they don't taste great if you just buy the pure powder form. So you might want to get something flavored, or when I couldn't find a good price on the flavored ones, I would just get unflavored, and then I would use a Hawaiian Punch as a sweetener. So yeah, okay, so that'd be good. And just to recap, vegetarians, EAA, combination of essential amino acids and branched chain amino acids. You can actually do that before and after your workouts, and that work really well. Rice protein works really well. Okay, you have your faster breaking down proteins, which is whey and the new hydrolyzed caseins. Okay, and those are better after workout because you want to get those nutrients fast. All right. And they also cause your blood sugar to raise a little bit, okay, because of that fast absorption. All right, and the slow absorbing proteins are the caseins. The caseins, which is micellar casein, which is the better version, and the regular caseins like calcium caseinate and things like that, which doesn't carry quite the recovery benefits or the catabolic benefits that the original whey protein has. The micellar casein has. So I want you to keep that in mind. And then also, like I said, one is not always better than the other, because you have to be able to afford it. So if everything was priced the same, if it was the regular caseins, go for the micellar casein. Okay, if it's between whey concentrate and whey isolate, go for isolate. If it's hydrolyzed, if it's between hydrolyzed and any of the other whey proteins, go for that. PeptoPro between the PeptoPro and the whey protein is kind of a toss-up. The hydrolyzed whey is kind of a toss-up. You're good either way. You'll do well either way. Rice protein also has a slow breakdown. So if you have any questions about this, definitely feel free to email me or contact me, and I'll answer the best that I can. And also, if you liked the video, thought it was informative, subscribe to my page, and I'll see you later.
So people listen to the sound. Round, 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 round. Put your hands up. Oh yeah.
Okay, so here we have two different whey proteins. Now, the one on the left is the higher quality protein because it contains mostly hydrolyzed whey. And the one on the right, on the front of the label of this product, they tried to claim hydrolyzed whey, but when you read the label like I'm going to show you, you'll find that they used mostly whey concentrate. So let's go to the one on the left. Okay, the first word that pops up is hydrolyzed oligopeptide whey peptide fraction, which you don't have to worry about all the scientific words. Just know that it's hydrolyzed whey protein isolate. So most of this protein, because the first ingredient that pop up on the list is going to be a hydrolyzed whey protein, which is the higher quality, and this is what you want if you're looking for a protein. Okay. Then the next one, well, it doesn't even matter after that, because when you look at the protein on the right, the first word that comes up is unstripped whole whey protein concentrate. And then it's a hydrolyzed whey protein, then micellar casein, which is telling you that this protein powder is mostly the cheap stuff, the whey protein concentrates. So if budget is not an issue, I would go for the one on the left over the one on the right. Okay, the one on the right, I more than likely wouldn't trust these because on the front label, when they claimed it was hydrolyzed whey, you know, we don't know the percentages or anything like that of the concentrate versus the hydrolate. All we know is that it's more concentrate than it is hydrolyzed whey protein. So they're trying to trick you into buying it by saying, yes, there's the good stuff in it, but not telling you that it's mostly the cheap stuff. Okay, so this is kind of a reason why I never go into recommending certain brands or anything like that, because they'll change ingredients around to make more profit, you know, and not notify you of that, and you'll think you're buying the same protein at a higher price, and they've switched and gave you a cheaper protein. So once again, just to recap, whatever protein that you're choosing to get, you want the most of the best ingredient. So like here with the hydrolyzed protein, that's at the top. So it becomes first, so that protein is mostly hydrolyzed whey, and then the cheaper forms of protein become second. So you want to make sure that whatever your magical ingredient is pops up up at the top instead of closer to the bottom or more near the bottom, because it's going to be less of that ingredient and more of the ingredients that become before it.
My satisfaction is complete. I keep on rolling on my feet. Just lift your hands up to the sound and turn around.